Hey, welcome to the Mostly Skateboarding Podcast. I'm your host, Temple Tonelli, and I went to Slow Impact 2026 with Patrick Kagongo, Mike Munzenrider, and Jason from Frozen and Carbonite, all in the same place at the same time for the first time. Patrick and I hit the field with mics in hand to give you listeners a snapshot of what it's like and who you might run into in Tempe, Arizona. To kick things off, I talked to Ryan Lay, then Leif Haig, about the Slow Impact 480 from New Balance.
There was talks about doing some sort of a colorway, and they were like, hey, actually, we want to do a slow impact shoe, but we got to figure it out in 2 weeks. So I went into the office and we looked at some samples. We changed the color profile and the branding of Slow Impact every year, so we could just kind of build the website and all the imagery around whatever the shoe colorway was going to be. And I came across an earlier version of what became the Slow Impact shoe, and I think initially it was built off of a Hornets jacket. But it's funny because a lot of people see it and they go, oh, nice, the early Diamondbacks colorways. And the other funny thing is that this area of Phoenix, the East Valley, is 480 area code. So it's very Arizona for the people who live here. My phone number starts with 480. Obviously, that's just the model of the shoe. So I thought that the colorway, reminded me kind of some Sedona turquoise style colorway, and the purple brought in the sunset a little bit. And I obviously love all of the New Balances that have that kind of off-white ivory look that just looks kind of like a dirty white. And then we added some little embellishments, like the kind of faded logo on the tongue, and the N also scratches off into kind of like a white from the purple.
Each of these special projects don't always start with nothing. They start with sometimes samples that we've previously made, and we had this sample as a good base. We sampled this 2 years ago now at this point. Yeah, so that was just in the vault of ideas we've tried and stuff like that. And when we initially met, Ryan called Warfel, who does all the art direction and stuff for Slow Impact, and kind of was like, hey, this sample is kind of in the vein of what we're thinking already, color-wise and mood-wise. From there, we kind of brainstormed on the new little nuggets, the design nuggets, adding a gradient detail on the woven label, putting Ryan's name on there super subtly, but mostly Slow Impact branding, and having a new insole artwork on it, and then making sure it's in a material build that Ryan actually loves to skate. But the process was super simple and really smooth. Working with Ryan is he's a very thorough guy, actually. Worf was really helpful too, his way of thinking with his art direction, and really fast. He was immediately gave me artwork. This was one of the smoothest ones I've done, and that was really cool because I've been attending Slow Impact now each year.
Yeah, it's nice because you actually bring your own experience to it. Can you just describe for our listeners what the shoe looks like?
Yeah, so it's our 480 low, which you guys may be familiar with, and it's a suede build, rich pigskin suede, more of a higher quality suede than most, lasts a little bit longer, feels a little bit more velvety in hand. And then it has a white base with purple and teal accents on it. And the tongue label, like I said earlier, was this gradient kind of woven label, kind of hinting at Arizona sunsets, which we're looking at this epic one right now, which is always really cool to just look at the sky changing colors insanely. That's kind of the base. We have a custom insole for it that Warfel did with a Slow Impact art direction, and then it comes with a little keychain in the same color pack. Yeah, that's kind of the shoe in the nutshell. It was really cool, really smooth process, thankfully. Not always the case.
Yeah, I'm sure. What's your name and what have you been working on here at Slow Impact?
My name is TJ Larson. I've been compiling a list at every event at Slow Impact, or at least attempting to, of the shoes that people are wearing to see what brands are still viable to this demographic in the year 2026.
So what are your initial findings so far?
So far, New Balance is a big old lead on the rest of them, which was kind of to be expected given that they've sponsored the event for the last few years. But there's still quite a bit of viability in some of the core brands. Vans has kept up with all the sports brands, and I've been seeing a healthy amount of America's Last Resort, a few S's and a few Etnies swirling about. Surprisingly to me, just given the events of the last year, there's been a decent bit of Lakai's floating around as well. So yeah, I think the core brands are hanging around, and New Balance is taking over.
So what's your methodology?
It's pretty loose. I am not a anthropologist or statistician by trade. and I'm literally just taking note of like pockets of people based on like their pants and shoes, and marking it down in my notes app. And then when like if my tick marks get a little too hectic, I'll feed it into a character counter just to like get an accurate accounting of who's wearing what, or how many are out there.
And what do you expect to do with the findings once Slow Impact's over? You got all the numbers in the computer. What are you going to do with them then?
I'll probably try to write an article and sort of reflect on what it means to me and skateboarding writ large. I don't know if that sounds pompous to say, I don't know. Just observations, like what does this mean? Like, are skate brands disappearing? Doesn't seem like it, which I think is healthy. And like as much as there was the sort of like scare tactics of the early 2000s when sports brands were like really kind of barnstorming the scene, I think the skate brands, have maybe struggled, but they certainly are surviving at this point in time.
I think that's signs of a healthy skate industry. Do you agree?
I would agree, and like I would hope that it means that all the shoes are getting better at the same time. I don't think anyone's gonna like willfully put on a pair of shoes that are gonna hurt their feet. So hopefully it just means that like the quality of everything's getting better, and we're all just getting better at recognizing gaps in what we need. I can't remember her name, but she posted that New Balance was like making a thinner shoe for a woman's foot, which is fucking sick. Just meeting people where they are and filling needs. I think all brands should take note.
Yeah, totally. Volk versus Cupsole, what are your findings there?
It's kind of an even spread. I would argue, again, just because the age demographic, you're going to find a lot more Cupsole shoes out there. But I don't know. Someone said to me the other day that Vulcanized is making a comeback. And I was kind of like taken aback for a moment, but it makes sense, There's cycles and trends, but also Vulcanized shoes look fucking sick, man.
They look good, and they, the board feel. You can't argue with the board feel.
I've been skating those Tom Knox New Balances because those ones to me feel like a Cupsole on your foot but skate like a vulcanized shoe in practice. So that's been really rad for me.
You've also been, I'm sure, noticing pants.
Oh yeah.
What kind of conclusions have you drawn about pants?
Loose is still in, baby. We're looking for comfort here. There's a couple tight pants, there's some straight fits, but I think some baggy pants are back.
Baggy is in.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
My name is John Freeborn. I have a project called Tales Of, which is a small magazine that we focus on different stories around skateboarding. For example, we did an issue on Tales Of books, all the books that are being published in skateboarding.
And what's the next issue going to be?
I have no idea. There's a couple ideas floating. We might do an issue on skate comics. We are going to do an issue on nonprofits in skateboarding. We're also going to do a couple small books related to our friend Rich Jacobs, who recently passed, and a couple other things. So lots in the works.
What's the format of your magazine?
The format of the magazine, it's kind of small physically, but it's perfect bound and full color. The issues are usually 100 to 120 pages. Each issue is usually curated by someone in the industry, someone who is an artist or a designer who's maybe particularly interested in a subject. And then I work with them and all the contributors to build content around the theme. And so each issue ends up being like pretty different in terms of like maybe look and feel, but I think like connected conceptually.
So who have some of those past contributors been?
Rich Jacobs was the first. Jai Tanju out of San Jose. Our most recent one was Dave Swift, who worked for Transworld for a long time. I myself did an issue, and future issues, hopefully, I don't know, all the good ideas that people bring to the table.
Nice. So if people want to check out Tales Of, where can they find it?
Talesof.org, and it's spelled Tails, like the tail of a skateboard.
Perfect. Go check it out. I've read a few, and they're always very interesting.
All right, my name's Joshua Rowe. I'm from like North County area, San Diego, so like Encinitas. And What brought me out here was CSEF. I'm one of the board members. CSEF stands for College Skateboarding Educational Foundation. So we do scholarships for skateboarders.
And why should skateboarders pursue higher education?
Let's just be real on the education part. One, it makes the world better when we all have a better understanding of other people, diverse views, all that. But in general, the facts are still facts. If you got a degree, you're making more money in the long run than a lot of people. Not all of us are going to be weird little crypto bros.
Y'all have been in existence since, I believe it is 2017, so you're coming up on 9 years. I read that your scholarship fund has a 97% graduation rate.
That is true, and that 3% that we don't have, like when it's like, what's the 100? It's because those are people who've gotten a scholarship that are still in their undergrad right now, which is amazing. So everyone who's gotten a scholarship has graduated, which is huge.
So how does that compare to other scholarship funds?
You know what? One of the big things with other scholarship funds is it ranges. Some have a similar rate, but a lot don't always track. They give out the money. There's big corporations, so like we gave it out, and there's not a follow through. One of our biggest things is that we make sure we keep in contact with all past recipients, so that way we can offer opportunities to them as well. Once they're done with school, we try and do a lot of networking for them in the mix.
You're an all-volunteer organization. You all have other responsibilities and jobs. What is it like to bootstrap something like this?
Dude, it's just a lot of love. I mean, I'm a teacher, so I actually went back to school to become a teacher. I've worked in nonprofit space, and this is just something that I do out of love because education gave me a lot, and that was actually, helped me in skateboarding. I had a whole crew in college that I skated with, and that's what got me to graduate college.
Okay, wonderful. So it was a bit like a competition.
Yeah, we were all just going through. I mean, nothing better than like having friends who skate and then like homies being stoked that you're supporting education through skating.
Kevin Sheft, upstate New York via LA.
So, Kev, you volunteer with Bridge to Skate. Tell us about Bridge to Skate's mission and what you do with them.
So, Bridge to Skate is an organization based in SoCal, provides programming throughout Los Angeles and also worldwide, or not worldwide, but in Latin America. The goal being to educate and provide mentorship for underserved youths in those areas through skateboarding.
What's it like to link up with people who are running skateboard or skate-centric nonprofits here at Slow Impact?
Very optimistic. Nice to kind of brush elbows with a lot of people that are out there doing important and fun work. And so just, pleasure in general, but also like a great opportunity to network because it's tough out there and it's good to have friends and contacts.
What's the best thing about the work you do with Bridge to Skate? And what's the best thing about being part of a skate nonprofit?
I mean, selfishly, it's, really fun for me, to be honest. I was just talking to a friend about this, and it's like, I would say it's like 60-40 for the kids and for me, because the kids are having a fun time, but I'm also having a blast. They're super stoked, super appreciative, and like just a lot of fun to be around. I came from a hospitality background, working in like luxury services and just working for a lot of like, unappreciative, super entitled people. And the contrast between that and like, helping a kid learn to skateboard is out of control.
My name is Norma Ibarra. I came from Mexico. I just got here, so my first impression is that it's packed. A lot of people I know from social media is people I know, a lot of industry people, a lot of community builders, and it's cool that everyone is here, and I'm excited to talk to everyone. Well, not everyone, but I'll try.
So, Norma, you famously or infamously barged the Paris 2024 Olympics and came back with some epic photos.
Thank you.
What do you think the Olympics could learn from an event like Slow Impact and other community-driven skateboard events?
I think having the people from the community involved. So, for example, when it comes through the photography, which is my passion, I noticed that there was a lot of photographers at the skate contest, but none of them knew how to shoot the tricks. Or no, I wouldn't say none of them, but a lot of them weren't familiar with skateboarding, and skateboard photography has so many rules and timings and technicalities, and I was like, oh, I wish I was one of them. And then when I talked to some of them, and then I look at the pictures, and it was like long zoom, and like you don't see the spot and stuff like that. And for example, in the photography side, I think the Olympics could use getting the community people involved when it comes to like everything, like the marketing, the photography, like people who actually come from that specific sport to be part of the documentation and everything, like the organization and stuff like that.
What's your hot take about skateboarding, the skate industry, and everything in general right now? What are you not fucking with in skating in 2026?
Gatekeeping?
Say more.
Yeah, I think we gotta gatekeeping and like scarcity mindset. I think sometimes we think, or the systems makes us think that there's not enough for everyone, or like that we have to compete with each other. But I think there is abundance in the world. It's just because of gatekeeping that there is an abundance for everyone. But I think that's where we all have to come together and try to break those things. But it's not easy. But I think we can start within ourselves. You know, if we hold a privilege or a position of power, how can we use it to benefit those who don't have it?
Awesome. Wonderful answer. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
My name is Tom Callan Riley. I'm from London in the UK, and I'm running a PhD about skateboard gatherings. And so I've come to Slow Impact to see. This is the first time I've made it to Slow Impact, and wanted to see how everyone's doing it here.
My name's Lee. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I'm at Slow Impact this year to give a paper session because I was so hyped on everything last year that I wanted to come nerd out with everyone this year.
So, hard-hitting question for both of you. Why does skateboarding still matter?
I think for myself, skateboarding has always mattered because it's been a space for gender diverse people to gather together and empower themselves and take up space. And so I think if we can learn how to do it in these contexts, we can figure out ways to like apply it to the wider world. But I think it's not an inherent like, oh, if skating is good, then the world is good. Like, we really have to do the work to figure out, like, okay, if we can get skating to a good place, like, how can we apply this more broadly?
Self-care is important, looking after yourself, like getting joy from doing this and everybody being together and checking in on each other and seeing that we're okay, I think is helpful in the context of the world being how it is. And also, the idea of like the possibility models that you see here of how other people are running projects where they're helping other people, where they're helping their kind of fellow citizens, helping people around the world. It's inspiring. It will hopefully get other people to do more work as well. So while it might feel self-indulgent when the problems are so big, I think it can actually help give us strength and show ways that we can tackle some of those the problems, the bigger problems that are there.
What can the non-skateboarding world learn from events like Slow Impact, Connect Festival, Stoke Sessions, all of these skate gatherings / conferences / chill sessions?
It's an alternative form of knowledge exchange, to be sure, and like looking at other. I'm based in academia and looking at how the non-skate academic world could learn from this. I think there's a lot of like how you program an event. We're not trying to there's so much value in these like side sessions. Like everyone's at the park right now. Everyone went on a hike before. Everyone, it's not your traditional formatting of like someone's at the front telling you how to do something or how they've done something. It's all of these informal conversations. I think it would be so beneficial for any other like academic conferences to learn from.
Yeah, skateboarding is like learning by doing. I've been at academic conferences like within urban planning, and it's just a lot of you're sitting in a hotel and you're like looking at pictures of things. And I think if you can take anything from skateboarding, it's that it is by nature hands-on. And so other industries just figuring out how to like get a bit more in it and a little less like in the theoretical weeds.
If you could wave a magic wand and do anything for future Slow Impact, what would it be? Who would you invite? What activity would you have? What programming would there be?
I want to keep decreasing the gender disparity gap. I don't know by what means. And I think over the years it seems to have been getting better. So I think for future slow impacts and future like skate conferences, yeah, figure out a way to get more gender diverse people through the door.
I like the idea of publishing all the near misses. So like people, like a bunch of people submitted abstracts for the paper sessions, and there must be, it was a challenge for Ryan and Mo and Kyle to select just 10 people to present out of those. So all of those other ideas, like they could be captured in something else, like in a zine, in a workshop, in a something where those people get to like share those ideas ever so briefly. But yeah, like publications to come out of this, other ways of capturing everything that's happening on the edge so that everyone sees it.
I'm Galen. I'm from Seattle, and come to Slow Impact to see lots of great friends, skate around for the week, see lots of interesting panels, and have a great time. Bike around the city with our boards and skate lots of fun spots.
If you could transplant Slow Impact to any other city, where would it be? Or is it a place that is tied to Tempe?
Yeah, I think Slow Impact in particular is tied to Arizona. That seems like a big part of it. But I know that other people are starting similar events in other cities, like in the Pacific Northwest. So I think it should be like other events with that are similar is a good idea in other cities.
What have you enjoyed about this edition of Slow Impact so far?
Perry Park's back open. I enjoyed that. Yeah.
It's lit, literally and figuratively. It's wall-to-wall people. Well,
that's right.
An hour ago it was wall-to-wall people. And hard-hitting question.
Yeah.
If you could put together any kind of event, panel, discussion, whatever, for a future Slow Impact, what would it be, or who would be on it?
I don't know if I have an answer to that, but I will say that the idea this year it kind of changed things up with the idea of like Antoine, or like having an interview with a skater who's hasn't spoken publicly a lot, or isn't and has an interesting career. I think that was a really cool idea. So maybe more of that. Yeah.
So behind closed doors, off the record.
Yeah.
This is not recorded, like something that's special.
Yeah, I like that event a lot, and yeah, and I think there's a lot of people with interesting and cool careers like Antoine out there who could share a lot in those settings. So.
Awesome. That's all I needed.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.
My name is Nate. I am from Salem, Massachusetts. And what brings me to Slow Impact? Community, skateboarding, good times, good vibes, all the skate Twitter homies, and here to learn from others, maybe teach others, who knows, and experience all that Tempe has to offer.
For the uninitiated, what is /was #skate Twitter?
Skate Twitter was but mostly was a little community of skate youths, old heads, like-minded individuals that love skating, and I want to say was looking for a voice in skating that was written in short form, not a full message board, not just photos and Instagram. It was a genuine place for skate conversation that was very loving and community oriented, and I miss it. I love all my skate Twitter peeps. I have been really heartened to see how much skateboarding has grown up in my lifetime, and it's been really interesting and exciting to sort of see a intellectualization of skateboarding occur. I don't know if that's a word. Where, we're thinking more critically, not just about the act of skating, but skating's place in society and urban-made spaces and the art world and just culture at large. So yeah, and I have had such a great time getting to meet folks here and to learn from all the panelists presenting papers and everything. It's been tremendous.
If you could wave a magic wand and add any type of programming to a future Slow Impact, what would it be?
I don't know that I would change much. I think it's really fabulous. My only change is that I would love to see one on the East Coast.
My name's Jansen, and I'm from Southern Ontario, about an hour southeast of Toronto. And honestly, what brings me to Slow Impact is, first of all, the paper sessions and just all the talks. I love to hear about it. And then second, and arguably more importantly, all the people and just the great fun and the good times to be had with everyone here.
This is your second Slow Impact, correct?
Yeah, this is my second one. I came last year after having bullied Ted Barrow into talking to me in San Francisco about some of the schoolwork I'm doing. And he suggested that I try and submit a paper, and which didn't go through last year or this year, which is fine. But regardless, I wanted to come out and see what it was all about and fell in love with it last year, and I'll be coming until I can't.
What sold you last year to come back?
Honestly, just being surrounded by so many like-minded people. I love skateboarders, but I love skateboarders who care about skateboarding in a context more than just getting buck and doing tricks. Like people who love the culture and people who love what skateboarding means outside of strictly just skateboarding.
What's up? This is Mostly Skateboarding, the Heat Check. We're at the first full day of Slow Impact in Tempe, Arizona. I got Will here. Will, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you from? And what you're doing here at Slow Impact.
Oh, shoot. Well, I'm originally from Peoria, Illinois, but I've been out here in the Valley for about the last, 13 years or so. Huge Antoine fan. I mean, I grew up at Baker 3 like everyone else. He heavily influenced my style. Not I try to be like him, but trick selection, like the heel flips, and I was just talking to him about the 1 foot 180s and things like that. And and plus I've been it's my second time here at Slow Impact. It's an awesome event, so of course I'm gonna be here.
Okay, because this is the Heat Check, what's your hottest take about skateboarding right now?
Hottest take. Woo! There's just too much stuff. You don't have to follow everything that's going on. There's just too much. Just like what you like and be cool with that. You do not have to be on top of everything because there's literally just too much.
All right, we got Chris Giamarino here. Professor Chris Giamarino. Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
I am living in Los Angeles, California. I'm an assistant professor of urban and regional planning at Cal Poly Pomona, which is a California State University system. Originally from Orange County, living in LA now.
All right, and how many times have you attended Slow Impact?
3 out of 4. So I didn't attend last year. This time has been really fun because I helped Mike Barker out with one poster on the West LA Civic Center, but other than that, I have had no responsibilities this time. Two years ago, I was on a panel, and it was fun, but it was stressful to.
It's a lot of work.
Be at a celebration, working essentially, but it was great.
Okay, so because this is the Heat Check. It's a heat wave here in Tempe, Arizona. What's your hottest take about skating or skate industry, skate culture right now?
I'm not feeling discussions about specific discussions about durometer, wheel hardness or softness, or especially wheelbase. If someone talks to me about wheelbase, the inches between the bolts, I'm I have no fucking clue. I just pick the board that I like. Usually skate frog boards because of the concave, and that's all that matters to me. But yeah, just sort of getting cornered by a skate nerd and talking about specific 97 durometer, 93, my wheelbase is 14.35 inch. I'm okay, yeah, I don't know. I can't contribute to that conversation. Yeah, cool. That's my hot take.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay, we've got Professor Mo Crandall here. What does Slow Impact mean for the current ecosystem of skateboarding, especially vis-a-vis the state of the nation, the state of the world?
I think Slow Impact means a place for skateboarders who want to be intentional thinking skateboarders who want to kind of consider what's behind what we do, why we do it, what we have in common with each other, how we relate to each other and the world and the environment and the different communities that we're part of. And it's a place where, if you grew up in the 90s, skateboarding in the early 90s, this kind of community building would have been clowned. People would have laughed at us and been oh, what are you doing? This is stupid. They would have said, what are you doing this kind of sissy stuff for? For me, this is the moment where we can do this and be proud of this and be out there in a way that, we're not ashamed of just kind of being skate nerds, but also being the type of skaters who care about the impact that we have. I mean, that's impact is in the title. Like, we're thinking about our impact, and we want our impact to be good. And I think that slow impact gives us ideas and opportunities to like really consider how we can have a good impact, not just in skateboarding, but then back in the communities that we're a part of and the world that we live in.
On the flip side of that, because this is the heat check, what's your hottest take about skating, skate culture, or the industry right now?
Oh man, I was gonna make a Facebook story, or I mean, it's Instagram story the other day, and I like wrote it all out and then saved it to a draft and then deleted it. Golf, dude. I don't get golf. Especially people who say golf and skateboarding are really similar. I've played golf a couple times. They're not similar. Like, how do you... I don't even understand how you can make that comparison. I don't understand the golf thing. I don't understand how so many skateboarders are into golf right now. That's my hot take. Golf, I'm not going to say golf is whack, because if you like golf, that's great. But I don't see the why people are trying to join these two things together. I don't get what the relationship is. And that's not really a hot take. That's more just like, I don't get it. There are physical reasons perhaps, but there's no reason why we all can't continue skating. I mean, I'm almost 50 and I'm still out there skating hard, to actually trying. And so, yeah, maybe if I did golf, it would like replace that. But I would feel like it was, for me, some sort of like resignation in a way. So golf's not inevitable. Keep skating. Skate as long and as hard as you can. And that's it.
My name is Paige Totten. I'm from Morristown, New Jersey. And so far, so good. I came last year, had a great time. So I wanted to come back again and experience it again, you know. I love the nice sun in Phoenix. Today, it's been good. I really liked all the paper sessions that happened. I'm a big fan of what Betsy was talking about earlier.
Shout out to Betsy.
Yeah, the like women's community and the skating and is so awesome, and it just gets me really stoked on just skating and what people are talking about, I guess.
So what lessons from Slow Impact, what have you learned from last year, what have you learned so far today that you think can be taken back out into the world?
There's so many like different niches in skateboarding that like you wouldn't even think about. It's just so interesting what people have to say in all their little sections of the community of this planet. I just find it really interesting because it's like stuff I'd never think about, and it gets me thinking on what I could do to help and maybe grow my community in different ways.
What's your hottest take about skateboarding, skate culture, or the industry right now?
Honestly, I'm so small that just like a fun, silly thing is, I think skate shoe companies should make smaller shoes because that's my big problem.
Getting shoes that fit.
I go to like a skate shop and they never have like stuff I want because it's always like too big. That's a silly one. That's my problem.
I mean, that's basically you saying to the companies, it's like, yo, you're leaving money on the table by not having a
Yeah, I mean, I go to my local skate shop and they're just not buying small stuff.
Who's your local?
Underground Skate Shop.
Oh, nice.
My name is Stephanie Levita. I'm originally from Massachusetts, now living in Portland, Oregon. And this is my third time attending Slow Impact. And so far, I mean, everything's going great, smoothly. Like, the weather is super nice this year, super hot, but I would say that this is probably, I don't know, maybe my top 3, if not 2, favorite skateboarding related events that I've been going to for the last 10 years.
What are some others?
Wheels of Fortune is another big one. Like, I think just being able to give shine and attention to non-traditional skateboarding as a whole, you know, that organization does a great job. So like, that's another one. But I think what I love about Slow Impact is that it doesn't matter about like how good at skateboarding you are. It's more about like the people that you meet and the connections that you make, and there's like this invisible filter with education on top of it. So I don't know, it's a really welcoming, fun, friendly environment that I look forward to every year.
If you could put together a panel or a talk for Slow Impact, what would it be?
I know there's been similar panels in the past, but again, like, how do we get more non-traditional folks involved in skateboarding, whether that's, you know, introducing them to the board or potential career opportunities that maybe folks aren't aware of. I think too, just like as being a board member of CSEF and a recent scholarship recipient, I think how education can really make a difference in your life as a skateboarder, especially like if that was something that was never originally part of your like career plan or like your future,
Okay, last question.
Yeah.
What's your hot take about skateboarding, skate culture, or the industry right now?
I don't want to say that skateboarding is diluted because that's definitely not the case, but I feel like it's so like I love to say like skateboarding so hot right now. Like it's just like the coolest shit, and like there's so much going on that it's almost difficult to stay on top of what's going on.
I'm Farron Golden. I'm from Wakefield, West Yorkshire in the north of England, but I live in Manchester in the north of England. I got slow impact yesterday after a flight was cancelled for a day. Rocked up in the midst of the great skate debate to Alex Coles, my replacement. He was filling in for me on the great skate debate, absolutely killing it. So I'm hyped that happened. Alex cleaned up. Josh Sabini did some real mic drops during it. He was killing it. This morning we've watched the paper sessions. Excellent presentation about archiving and loss of archiving from Betsy Gordon, formerly of the Smithsonian. Real great subject. I'm sure anyone that works in skate media that's tried finding archival material from a magazine that doesn't exist anymore will have a real hard time doing so. So Betsy's talk was super important. Also hyped that she talked about giving zines and stuff to your local library. I've done that in Leeds, where I lived for a long time. Got in touch with them on the off chance they'd have any interest in skating, and they were. So now I have a bunch of zines in Leeds Library. So taking Betsy's cue, give your skate zines to your local library. John Dahlquist did an awesome talk about teaching skateboarding. It was all great, but they were my highlights. And then I'm pretty sure the takeaway for the whole event, although maybe a little premature to say, is everyone's going to be very, very stoked on Spencer Gillespie's on-stage in conversation with Antoine Dixon.
So, hard-hitting question for you. You are a writer. You're also a scholar. How would you explain an event like Pushing Borders or Connect Festival or Slow Impact to somebody who doesn't skate and whose idea of skateboarding is still shaped by us being a bunch of roughneck hooligans wilding in the streets?
You can say it's a conference on skateboarding. You can say it's an arts and culture event about skateboarding. You can say it's a mix of both of those things. That's how I framed it at work when I asked if I could have the time off to come to this, or a summit, either of those sort of descriptors. I suppose as far as framing it towards people who might have a misperception about it, you just talk to them about it. You tell them the things that they don't know that would land with kind of a more pedestrian ear. They know, oh, skateboarding, like, yeah, maybe they think, oh, skateboarding's nice, but, you're vandalizing a city. You frame it's like, well, civic societies like cities in the same way skateboarders like cities. I've done a talk with a civic society about skating, and I appreciated what they do. They appreciate what I do, and there's a 40-year age gap between those kind of perspectives. So, yeah, you just frame it in a way that maybe either simplifies it but is understandable without dumbing it down too much, or you sort of reframe it depending on where they're coming at in terms of their perspective, maybe.
What's your hottest take about skating, skate culture, and the industry right now?
We've got too many hot takes and not enough long-form journalism.
Ooh, brilliant way to end it.
My name is Seb. I'm from Hollywood, California, maybe Glendale to be more specific. But what brings me to Slow Impact is all of my friends are here. I've been coming all 4 years, and it's very exciting to have a weekend to see everybody I don't get to see normally.
What can other skateboarding events learn from Slow Impact?
I just thought about this yesterday, and the best way I can describe Slow Impact for someone who might not be familiar or might be trying to understand the concept of what we are doing for so many days out in the desert, but it's kind of like a pick your own adventure. You can go learn something at a panel, you could go to a concert, you could go check out local businesses and see what there is to explore, but all in all, it's an inclusive, chill place to meet new people, learn new ideas, get in touch with other local scenes that have come out here, but you get to do everything at your own pace, and I think that's the best part about it. You get to go skate, you get to go check stuff out that you might not normally see in your town.
All right, hard-hitting question. What's the most annoying thing or the least chill thing in skating right now? What are you not fucking with?
What am I not fucking with? I don't know. I think skating's in a pretty cool place right now. There's not a lot that I can say that's bad besides getting political and having outside forces come in and maybe corrupt the public zeitgeist or the perception about skateboarding right now. You know, like having someone like Tim Pool or like a random outsider who's like kind of poisoning the well, so to speak. But all in all, like I feel like the youth is sick. Everyone coming up that I think is getting some shine is getting that shine. It seems like it's still getting more and more inclusive every day. Hopefully it is, but all in all, I would just say keeping the negativity out. That's the worst part about it. I've tried to be less negative. I'm a known hater.
Let's say you're trying to be less of a hater.
Definitely.
Okay. Follow up to that. What's been your favorite thing about this edition Slow Impact 4?
This edition of Slow Impact 4, it seemed very jam-packed. I know the first year of this event, it was 3 days compared to 4, right? So we've expanded an extra day, and it seems like every day there's enough to do where you feel generally worn out or just like you've done enough for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And between skating or everything else, like there's so much to do every single day.
My name is Luke Gardner. I live in Seattle, Washington. And what brings me to Slow Impact is a chance to have a little vacation with my 1-year-old baby and my wife, get away from the dark, rainy winter in Seattle and enjoy some time with all the Slow Impact friends and presenters and skateboarding culture that exists here.
Luke, you're a veteran of Skate Twitter. What did Skate Twitter or hashtag Skate Twitter bring to skateboarding culture, and how is it tied to this event that we're attending right now?
Yeah, I think Skate Twitter benefited from the same things that Twitter did in its sort of early days, which is like you could go on there and talk to the people who actually influence skate culture. Ryan Lay was really active on there, and you could just talk to him. You could just talk with the people who maybe were in magazines or maybe were famous or maybe just were really opinionated, and it just sort of flattened the playing field for everybody to talk their shit and have some fun.
What's been your favorite thing about the Slow Impacts that you've attended? You attended the first one and the second. Obviously, family leave duties for the third year, but you're back for the fourth with the whole team in tow.
Honestly, I think it's like learning about all these little pockets of really hardworking and interesting people doing stuff in skateboarding that you don't hear about. Like whether it's I'm looking at the zine fair right now, and like people just pour their heart and soul into this stuff, and I don't know, there's a really wonderful, like, hard-working, thoughtful energy to the whole thing, and people really bring their best selves to the table. Whether it's people getting sober over the course of, the 4 years of Slow Impact and working on themselves, or people like going deeper into their craft or building companies. It's really been the genesis of a lot of really positive stuff for skateboarding.
If you could wave a magic wand and do anything for a future Slow Impact, what would it be?
A mega ramp at the bouldering project would be pretty sick to see. Let's get Bob out here.
Would you hit it?
No. I'd sit down and slide down it. That'd be fun.
Knee slide or butt slide?
Butt slide for sure.
Jamie Carey, I'm from Portland. I'm repping the whole Northwest though, Seattle too, shout out. This is my fourth one. I've been to every single one. As long as they keep doing them, I'll keep coming. It's a magical time in the desert. There's no other time you get to be around all these people in one place. Sort of like a wedding reception where like all your homies are there from every era, every place, and everyone's just here vibing, having fun. It's the best.
So what's something that you've taken away from previous Slow Impacts? Like what's something that's either, it could be a new trick, it could be a sign of personal growth, like what's something that makes you feel like, wow, this really, my life?
I mean, I quit drinking after the first Slow Impact. That was the last time I drank. Being around a lot of sober people for the first time and that were still out and having fun and getting after it just kind of made me realize like I could do that too. So I drank plenty. And then I quit.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on hitting 4 years.
Thank you.
And so, as a follow-up to that, the drip game. You are known for next-level sartorial excellence. What's the craziest fit you've ever seen someone pull off at a Slow Impact?
Ooh, the craziest fit? I mean, that's hard, dude. I don't know. There's always the locals, the AZ locals always pull up to the wedge wearing some some crazy outlandish shit. That's the best I can think of. The AZ locals, shout out.
So for anybody who wants to attend Slow Impact in future, how should they pack? What's the number one thing or two things that need to be in their garment bag?
Fuck. This year, shorts, because it's hot as hell. It's usually not this hot. But I mean, pro tip, get some of those pants that can zip off into shorts. I got a pair of those. Then that's double duty.
Yo, Nike, if you're listening, send us all several boxes of those ACG convertible cargo.
Sheesh.
Green,
Smith
Army
Summit
green.
pants.
Actually, no Army green because I don't want to be mistaken for a militia member. So let me get the triple black.
The khaki ones.
Yeah, black and a khaki, but no green, no camo.
The other thing you should pack is good headwear to keep the sun off your neck.
So we're taking a sun hat, baseball hat. Should you have several hats, daytime,
Yes,
nighttime
you
hat?
should have a little bit of everything, a bucket, baseball hat, get a little gardener hat, sun hat, one of those like green, clear visors, get a little bit of everything for Slow Impact.
Yo, this is Sam, aka Moss One, coming all the way out from Southern California in the 909. And, just out here at Slow Impact with the community, seeing all these dope leaders and presenters. It's always a pleasure. Big up to Mostly Skateboarding Podcast. Peace.
Okay, so Sam, what brings you to Slow Impact?
Yeah, man. Actually, Pat, you were one of the first cats to kind of put me up on game on this, and I just had to come out and see, what was the buzz, and honestly, the paper sessions kind of grew my interest, so that's really what pulled me in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, what do you think other skate events can learn from Slow Impact? What's something that you think that this event does well that should be copied?
I want to say open forum for anyone who wants to speak on what they're working on, whether it be projects, the movement that they want to shed light on from where they're from. I think I really like the fact that they have agendas that last out a whole day, multiple places. So overall, open-ended invitation, really.
Sam, you also are in the labor space. You have been a labor organizer, and you've written and worked extensively in the space of unionization. Where are we at from a labor perspective with regards to skateboarding right now?
Oh man, it's probably more of an enigma, since mostly skateboarders, and I'm learning more about media, but are like 1099 employees. So, I want to say we're in the Stone Age here. I don't work in the skateboard industry, but from what I can gather, there's a lot of informal economy going on, a lot of informal job placement, probably some misclassification going on. And overall, I want to say that if I were to encourage any kind of unionization, probably with distribution, warehouse style, I think that whole model has been replicated all around the United States. So for all you distributors out there, warehouse workers, if your employer is down for or not, build an underground campaign, reach out to the NLRB, reach out to your local central labor councils, email me if you'd like, scarlin05@gmail.com. I'll plug you up with the right resource so you can just do this right and be organized.
Thank you very much, Sam. Power to the workers.
Hi, I'm Zoha. I came visiting from Chicago, and you said what brought me to Slow?
Yes.
Actually, Eunice's video brought me to Slow Impact. Let's go! I saw you post about it, and we have a group chat in Chicago for a bunch of skaters, and someone sent your post into the chat. I was like, who's going? I'm down to go to this event. And then I got 4 other people, or we're a total of 4, and we're all here skating now. So it came to life, and I love it so far. Slow Impact has been really awesome.
Awesome.
That's so crazy. Yeah, literally, that's why I was like, I need to meet you here. If you're here, it would be full circle, literally.
My name is Eunice. I'm from Los Angeles, and this is my 3rd year at Slow Impact.
Okay, and what brought you here, Eunice, or what brought you once again?
Oh man, this is my favorite skate event of the year. I love the community. I love just hanging out and all the presentations and just learning about everything,
So what sets Slow Impact apart from other skate events, whether they're contests or jam sessions, or even there's actually some very formal skate conferences, like for example the Stoke sessions down in San Diego. What makes this different? What makes this hot?
Well, this is my first bigger skate conference. I think I've been to a lot of competitions out in Chicago where we have vendors or skate collectives like Fro Skate. I've worked a lot with them. And we kind of just set up tables and like skate at parks and like hold a competition. This is like a little different. You guys have like panels and like questions and like real, I think, objective truths that are behind skateboarding. Like, I'm a huge architecture nerd and I really liked like the art exhibit that was the first night. Like, skatable architecture is probably my favorite part of skating because I prefer street skating. I learned how to skate in Chicago streets, so that's kind of like what I thought was cool about this, is like they're talking more about the details and the communities in like a panel style conference, and obviously the pros that are here.
What she said.
If you could put together any segment, interview, or event for future Slow Impact, what would it be?
Oh, I don't know. There's a puppy adoption going on right now, and it's looking pretty cute. I think they should have this every year, actually.
So more dogs.
More dogs.
Yeah, skater dogs. Have you guys seen any skater dogs before? I watch a lot of dogs skate in Chicago. It's pretty lit, actually.
So more dogs for the culture.
Yes.
For the culture.
Please
Okay.
bring skater dogs to Slow Impact 2027.
Ryan, you heard it first. We want more dogs.
Write that down. Write that down.
Hey, what's up? I'm Big O. I'm from Houston, Texas, Southside Skate Park. Slow Impact. I'm just here to listen, learn, enlighten myself, re-inspire myself in regards to skateboarding.
Hi, I'm Janine from Southside Skate Park in Houston, Texas. We're just here to, I guess, meet other skateboard creatives and just see what's happening out in the rest of the world.
So, hard-hitting question. 2025 was a very difficult year for skateboarding, skate culture, the industry, and the world at large. What do you think is a big lesson that we can take from making it through last year?
I guess whatever doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. It's not the first time, won't be the last time. Whatever you did to make it through that and continue to live with a positive mindset, try to tap into those things and pass them on.
Diversify. Again, just trying to make it through, get through those hard times. We have the ups and downs in skateboarding, but it's always there. It's always going to be there.
If you could wave a magic wand and you could put together any panel, any event, any discussion for a future Slow Impact, what would it be?
How to make a skate shop survive in these times, just being a small mom and pop shop and not having the backing of a corporation to keep you afloat during those slow times.
How did you take your antiquated business model and I don't know, modernize? Like, what did you do? How did you modernize? How painful was it? And doing those difficult chin-ups of change at your, with what you do and how you support skateboarding, and your family, right? Because I feel like I can only inhabit this space as long as I can support my family, So that being said, skate shops have changed, things have changed. I guess like a pep talk panel to kind of pep talk shops and kind of where they think they are and where they could be if they just maybe change their mindset or be willing and open to change and willing to do those difficult chin-ups of modernization of what it means to be a skate shop in 2026, to be 2030 soon. That's wild,
This is our last dance. This is our last dance. This is ourselves. Under pressure.